Did anyone see my alma mater, the Sun Devils, win today again? The championship? Yes, this t shirt is 25 plus years old. It's falling apart. I have newer ones, but what a great game. Hello. Hello. My name is Alan. Boy, that's messed up. My books are over here. That's why it's kind of, I have all this room. Yeah, well, welcome to my channel. This is going to be the top 5 Thomas Pynchon novels. It might as well be titled My Top Favorite 5. Now, I want to start this video off by saying I have not read all his books. I have not read Slow Learner, the short story collection, and I have not read his first one, V. So, if you have and it's your favorite novel, make a comment below. Maybe we can buddy read it. I will definitely get to V. But for now, I want to let you know that these are my top 5. Starting with, not this one. This is Bleeding Edge. I liked it. There's not one Pynchon novel that I would say I don't like or that I think is crap, is not worth reading. But I tend to put Bleeding Edge with Vineland and Inherent Vice. They're more like family stories. After Gravity's Rainbow, Pynchon started getting into like family dynamics in a real obvious way, and then in a kind of different way too. Fathers and sons, things like that, marital relations, divorce, things like that, themes. But this book, I do like it. Pynchon only has like 2 female characters, and Crying of Lot 49 is Oedipa. And then in this book, we have Maxine, who's a private eye, much like the character in Inherent Vice. And this is New York City. Inherent Vice is L.A. And I'm not going to go into a detailed synopsis or a review of these books. Some of the characters, I don't really remember their names off the top of my head. And there's so many characters, say, in Against the Day, that I would need notes to remember them all. Except for the good ones, we'll wait to Against the Day. So we'll just put this one over here. Starting at 5, going up to number 1. Number 5, I would say Mason and Dixon. Now, Mason and Dixon is a book I like so much, I bought it twice. And although I liked it, very much, and it begs, there's wikis on all of Pynchon. I was going to say it begs annotations by me because it's a complex novel. But I didn't annotate it. I've read it a couple times. I like to say of this book, it'll make you laugh, it will make you cry. I mean, it's about Mason and Dixon and, the dividing of the country between North and South, the Mason-Dixon line. But they were odd. They were an odd couple, and it's an interesting relationship, and you really get to know them and you get to feel for them, and they go through some interesting times, and George Washington smokes marijuana in it. So next, we have a tie for 4. Vineland and The Crying of Lot 49. I just recently read this year for the first time. It's a really complex novel for being so thin, is the thinnest one. We have how do you pronounce Oedipa, after Oedipus Rex. We have her as main character. It is just a real trip. They have a sign, this sign here of the horn that's muted. That little thing in the horn is a mute. that goes in, and so you might see Waste, WASTE, is a corporation. Uh, it's not a corporation; it's an organization. It has so many conspiracy theories in this about the post office, and about lawyers and actors and um, postage stamps. It's about she inherits lot 49 is all. Just read yourself. Violent is I call it one of his hip novels. Like Inherent Vice is a hip novel. It takes place in L.A. Uh, I'll never forget the opening of this book. The main character, whose name is Zoid Wheeler. You know, another name you can't forget. Zoid Wheeler. Uh, he lives off Social Security and the dole, and the government, and gets a letter in the mail that it's time for him to do his proof that he's crazy act. So he gets dressed up in a dress and jumps out a window and is it's like a press uh, conference. But he's another thing Pynchon does is that fathers and daughters. Now he lives with his daughter Prairie, and his estranged wife comes back into the fold, and action action begins. It's a novel that I should reread. You can tell I'm kind of vague on it, very vague, but I'll never forget the opening. A lot of pot smoking in this. I remember that. A lot of police involvement. In fact, if I remember correctly, the PLA is involved in this, and I can't remember the wife's name because it's like one of those fancy Francesca names, or it's even wilder than that. Let's see if it's listed here in the back. I can't really find it real fast. Oh yeah, Frenessa Gates, and she gets involved with this guy Brock Void, who is the FBI, who is it's all convoluted. He's against Wheeler, and who's with his ex-wife now. Uh, anyway, let's see. Number 3, Inherent Vice. Now, interesting fun fact: I have not seen the movie of this yet, um, and I'm going to check it out, see if it's on Prime or Amazon Prime. But because I like the director. The director was Paul. Somebody will tell me in the comments. Oh yeah. You can tell I didn't prepare for this either. But here's a nice blurb. Inherent Vice is Thomas Pynchon doing Raymond Chandler through a Jim Rockford looking glass, starring Cheech Marin or maybe Tommy Chong. What could easily be mistaken as a peon to 1960s Southern California is also a sly herald to that era's end. So, a really readable, fun book. Now, getting into the nitty gritty. My second favorite is Gravity's Rainbow. I've read this book twice. I was lucky enough to read it with a group in, I know I probably wrote it down, but it was with the book chemist. Um, it was a great experience. I really learned a lot, really did. So my copy of Gravity's Rainbow is totally annotated up. I want to reread it next year. Boy, there's so much in this book, so much tarot, Jewish mysticism, Kabbalah, a lot of war, World War II, a lot of sex. There is a talking light bulb in it. I think differently about this book than I do my number one Pynchon book I like so much I bought it twice. Against the Day. Yes. Now I'm currently reading this copy. Pretty thick book. We're reading it in a group. We're reading it in December through January. So if you're like me and you like Pynchon and you've read it before and want to read it again, it's not too late to jump in. We're only in the first section of it. We just got done this week. So as I was saying, this is a joy to return to. It's fun. It's many genres. It's Western. It's sci-fi. It's adventure. It's lowball comedy. It's all that. Well, this book, Gravity's Rainbow, is hell. It's hard. It's hard to deal with at times. I mean, sure, it's fun to read, and there's so much to get out of it, but it's about war and Nazis and Commander Puddings and E. coli and just a stone trip. But it's my number one. So I hope to start some discussion and some argument and some disagreement and in a good way, some debate, because I don't think Pynchon is really read or talked about too much here on Book 2. And I'd like to change that. So, appreciate your time and consideration. I'll talk to you later.